Hey everybody, and welcome to the next edition of the Soccer Fitness Goals video blog. Today we're going to be talking about electrolyte replenishment for soccer. So electrolytes are ions of salts that the body uses to perform a number of different functions, including muscle contraction. The main electrolyte that the body uses for muscle contraction is sodium, but there are also other electrolytes that are used, including calcium, potassium, and magnesium. So when you do high intensity exercise, including soccer, you sweat. And when you sweat, you lose not only water, but you also lose these electrolytes. Over time, if electrolyte concentration gets too low because of too much electrolytes lost during sweat, then optimal muscle contraction becomes difficult or impossible. When electrolyte concentration becomes very low, it can even lead to more serious health consequences, including heat illness and heat stroke. Recent studies done on elite-level male professional soccer players have shown that in a 90-minute match in the heat, soccer players can lose up to 4 to 5 grams, and that's 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium, which is the main electrolyte, per game. So we've established that electrolytes are very important for muscle contraction and of course for soccer. And we've also established that in soccer, electrolyte loss can be quite high. Now what we're going to talk about is what soccer players can do to prevent and minimize electrolyte loss and to replenish the electrolytes that they do lose when they're sweating when they play. So sports drinks like Gatorade or Powerade are not perfect. They're high in sugar, and there are definitely a lot of times that athletes will consume these drinks even when the intensity or the duration of their exercise is not quite high enough to warrant it. One positive thing about sports drinks, however, is that they do contain electrolytes, including sodium and potassium, which are the main electrolytes that are lost through sweat and need to be replenished. So what I'm holding in my hands is sort of the standard size Gatorade or Powerade bottle, which contains about 600 milliliters of fluid. Sometimes they may be a little bit less, closer to 500, or sometimes they may be more, even as much as 700 milliliters. As I mentioned, Gatorade or Powerade do contain electrolytes sodium and potassium. These standard size bottles contain 250 milligrams of sodium and 65 milligrams of potassium. This is good, and it does allow these drinks to replenish some of the electrolytes that soccer players can lose during sweat. But the problem is that, as I mentioned before, a lot of the studies done on soccer players playing in the heat have shown that they can lose 4 to 5 grams of sodium, which is actually equal to 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams. If a soccer player were to lose that amount of sodium during a game and only replenish 250 milligrams, they wouldn't nearly be replenishing enough. So what all this means for soccer players is that there's a chance that even if you consume a full serving or full bottle of Gatorade during a match, there's a chance that you may not have replenished all of the electrolytes that you need to. If that were the case, what you would need to do would be to add some electrolytes, and specifically to add sodium to the serving of Gatorade. How do you find out how much electrolytes or sodium that you would need to add to your sports drink? A simple and effective way to do that is to weigh yourself before and after training or games. Weigh yourself in kilograms and make sure that your attire is as consistent as possible pre and post training or game. If you have a lot of clothes on while you were playing and you get sweaty, then those clothes will get damp and that'll add weight. So the ideal attire to wear when you're weighing yourself would be just your underwear. If post-training or game, you've lost 1 kilogram of body weight, that's an indication that you've probably not done an optimal job of hydrating. If you've lost more than 1 kilogram of body weight, then you're getting into more significant and serious dehydration. A standard protocol that I've used with a lot of the high-level athletes that I worked with was that if they lost 1 kilogram of body weight, we would add about 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium to their sports drink. If they lost more than 1 kilogram, then we would continue to add 200 to 300 milligrams per kilogram of body weight lost. Over time, any soccer player, through consistently weighing themselves pre and post training and games, and supplementing with the recommended amount of electrolytes as needed can get to the point where they lose no more than 1 kilogram and ideally almost no body weight at all pre and post training or games. Well, that concludes the Soccer Fitness Video Goals blog for this week. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you want more information, don't forget to visit www.soccerfitness.ca or www.soccerfitnessgoals.com.